Now I'd like to introduce you to Jennifer Mossotti. And again, they're on their way to Stonewall's meeting also. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Oh, I guess I need this. Thank you, Robin, and thank you to all the members of the Robinwood Neighborhood Association for attending this evening. I appreciate you coming and giving up your evening. My name is Jennifer Mossotti. I've lived in the district for 34 years. My husband, Ron, and I have raised 3 of our children here. I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see a lot of new faces, and I hope to represent to all of you on the urban county government. I've been in the district since 1978. I've been active in various roles. I've been involved in Stonewall. My children all went to school there. Was homeroom mother, involved in the PTA, Girl Scouts. Watched my son play football at Jesse Clark and cheered him along the sidelines. Spent many a Saturday mornings on the soccer field, as many of you can relate, on those cold, icy mornings. And I have 3 beautiful grandsons, and I'd be glad to share photos with any of you after the meeting. Professionally, I am a realtor. I've been a realtor with Prudential de Moberman for over 15 years. I sell residential and commercial real estate. Previously to that, I used to be your council member. I served from 1997 through 2004. And in 2004, I had to make a decision whether or not to seek re-election. My mother lived with us in our family for 10 years, and I was very happy to have that, and we were very grateful that we had that opportunity. As my mother's health declined, I had to make a decision whether to continue being on the council, working full-time, or taking care of my mother. And I think you know the answer, and I think you understand the answer, and that was to take care of my mother. My mother was a child of the Depression. She instilled great values into me: a hard work ethic, compassion, conservation, and to leave the world in a better shape than we were brought to. You know, being a council member is not an easy job, and I want to commend Bill and Connie for being a part of the political process and being interested. I can tell you from experience, there are a lot of difficult decisions to be made on the council. When you're on council, there are important issues. And there's an ever-growing number of issues that seem to get more serious on a day-to-day basis. Some of them were mentioned here this evening. My husband used to be a police officer. I was a former police officer. My son is currently a police officer. I certainly know that lifestyle. You can't just walk into a council member seat. It's a very, very difficult learning curve. You have to be prepared, especially with the issues we're facing. Again, some of those you heard this evening. My years of experience would definitely outweigh anyone else's based upon my past history. And I certainly appreciate and would ask for your support, and that we all work together and understand the issues that need to be dealt with. This is what I've learned from serving on the council member, as a council member in the past. I've learned that I need to keep you safe and make sure that you're provided with basic services. Police and fire, stormwater, sewers, which aren't so glamorous but are in the news today. Parks, make sure they're maintained, they're kept clean, they're usable. The programs are still being able to be run. Snow plowing, which we didn't have a lot of this year, and street sweeping. But let's get back to sewers and to stormwater, because this neighborhood here has dealt with that for a long time. If you remember that you all had, when it was torrential rains and we would have a heavy rain, your neighbors and your houses would be flooded. I stood in basements down here on Monticello Boulevard that had raw sewage coming up through their drains. Now, what is an acceptable answer for that? There is none. I stood on Halifax Drive where I saw manhole covers spewing with sanitary napkins and toilet paper. Acceptable? Absolutely not. So when this 450 acres was going to be developed, we, as a neighborhood association, along with Monticello and Stonewall, worked together to make sure that this wouldn't happen again. We worked with the developer to ensure that we would mitigate anything that would come down as a result of the retail, the houses, the churches, the parking lots, all the impervious surface that wasn't there before, that now was there, would bring even more water. We got that done. And why did we get that done? Because everyone in this room participated and gave me their input and helped and worked collectively, and we got it done. That's what makes a neighborhood association, and I commend you for being a neighborhood association. You know, when I started in '97 and ended in 2004, we had about a dozen active neighborhood associations. We have about half of that now. And usually neighborhoods don't get together unless there is a problem, and you've got to be, because you are together already. Because it's better to be proactive rather than reactive. And if there's an issue that comes up, you can galvanize quickly instead of waiting for something to happen and then decide, what do we do now? Again, I think it's crucial to be a part of a neighborhood association. It's crucial to be a part of the political process. This is what makes the difference, is your grassroots level involvement in politics. People say, my vote doesn't count. Well, you're wrong, it does. People say I shouldn't be involved in my neighborhood association. Look what it did by you being all involved. It made your streets safer, it made your basements not be flooded, and you're not dealing with raw sewage. And each neighborhood has its own specific and unique issue, whether it be graffiti, there's burglaries going around, there could be issues with noise, barking dogs, street signs, stoplights, there's a myriad. Each one of you has your own issue, and each one of you needs, each neighborhood association needs to have its own voice. And I commend you for having your own voice. And I would appreciate if you would let me work with you to be your voice on the Urban County Council. I think we need a strong and effective voice. We need someone who knows how to get things done, who's been there, who has done that, and can continue to work for you. And I would appreciate your support. I'd appreciate your vote. May 22nd is right around the corner. It's a Tuesday. It's important to cast your vote, because I think that's one right that we have that we really need to take advantage of. All I can tell you is that I really like politics. I've always liked politics. I like being involved in decision making, and I appreciate being involved in the community. As my mother said, it's important to give back. I certainly want the opportunity to partner with you again and be your strong voice on the City Council. For more information, there's a campaign table outside. I know Mossotti is a tough name. It's like Polonek to spell, but it's Mossotti. I just had my website start today, and that's Mossotti2012.com. And on Facebook, I'm elect Jennifer Mossotti. I want to thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. And I certainly would appreciate your vote on Tuesday, May 22nd. Thank you very much.